Hey! Hey! Fuck! Fuck! Hey! Fuck you! Okay. Over here. How we doing all right? Good. How's the boys doing all right? Good. Nearly everybody knows me, you know. Everybody knows it's John that shouts. Hey! Someone will come in and they'll say, oh, did you see John the other day doing the tune? And they'll say, John who? And they'll say, you know John. No, and they say, oh, you know, fuck off John. Beautiful.
For the past 20 years, John Davidson has been living with Tourette syndrome. Tourette's is a neurological condition that causes involuntary twitching and verbal outbursts.
Hey! It's like you can feel a sudden urge to shout, and it's fat bastards, or you shout, see a police officer, pigs. I mean, without feeling as if I'm stereotyping anybody, maybe somebody that I think to myself maybe looks as if they're homosexual. And I'll shout, poof! I'll shout that, and then I'll shout at the top of my voice, I'm gay! You know? And it's like, shouting something like that in public, you're going to get a reaction kind of thing. So the more I know that you're going to get a reaction shouting that in the street, the more reaction I'm going to get. So the more I can't stop shouting it, you know? Hey! Hey! Fuck off! Hey! Oh, God.
In 1989, 16-year-old John Davidson was featured in a BBC documentary. Millions of viewers witnessed John trying to cope with his extreme form of Tourette's.
Fuck off. It feels like, I think, it's hard to explain. It's, when I feel I'm going to say it, I try and stop myself, but it just feels as if I have to say it. It's like somebody's forcing it out of me.
Fucking idiot. Prick. Hey, cunt.
What do you mean?
Babe, you fat cunt. Hey, big nose.
Cut them right in the middle, have you?
The day that the documentary, it was to be on TV. I mean, there was bits in the newspaper and things, and I was actually quite nervous and not sure how people were going to react.
Fuck's sake,
We
cunt.
don't know who that one is.
I'd made a decision when I said to Mum and my brothers and that I was wanted to watch it on my own. And so when just before it came on, I went up the stairs into my bedroom, and I watched it on my own, and it was dead kind of sad, because looking back and listening to maybe the way I was talking, you know, and that it was quite upsetting. I mean, one or two times there was a few tears. And after it finished, I mean, my first thing was to look out the window, look down the street to see if there was anyone going about. And I mean, at that time of night, it was 9, 10 o'clock at night, the street was empty, and it was like, I wish there was folk going about. And I was just, in a way, desperate to know, like, people's reactions around the town.
At 16, John's Tourette's was particularly severe. 13 years on, he is still unable to stop the random shouts and tics.
Johnny Penty, come on. Cassie, Johnny. Before I was featured on the documentary, I felt I had to kind of hide away. A lot of people were quite frightened. As you can imagine, maybe a young lad suddenly shouting fuck, or a sexual obscenity or something. John! Whoops. I think it did help to take away the fear. You know, it's like, we don't need to be frightened of this guy. He does it and that's it. Hey! He's quite a rich landowner in Galashiels. That's his house there. It can be quite kind of, you know, very abrupt. You usually find that with landowners. Too much money. Hey! Oh, stars. Hey! Right, man, how we doing?
Yeah, what you want, John? What you fancy?
Dave Henderson has known John for 12 years. They first met when Dave became the victim of one of John's outbursts because of his size.
Can I have a Diet Coke, please? I'll have a can, aye. Please, aye.
Fuck it.
Cheers, mate. Have a seat, aye. Just there. Somebody's been eating the stools, look.
A stool!
Somebody's been eating them, look.
Jam. Totty!
That's good.
Here!
This pub's changed a lot, though, over the years.
Tons. Tons! I used to come in with my dad years ago and play pool. There are times where, I mean, I can see a got attractive female and I'll shout, sexy bum, or something like that. And when I shout something like that, if I'm with somebody, friends or whatever, you know, you can have a laugh about it and say, God, watch you, you're gonna get a slap in the face kind of thing, you know. But I mean, it's something that I've had to deal with and accept that it's going to happen.
Good if I hit that car, eh?
No, you... Whoa, plenty of room.
There's all.
Whoa!
That's what's really hard. Sometimes, Johnny, if you're in the motor and you...
Suck my penis.
And if I'm coming out... If I'm coming out the junction and you shout, blooming, whoa.
I know.
That's the worst. That's the scariest thing for me.
Aye.
I have to say.
Whoa! Johnny David! I'm a nutter.
Guy got the old tin flute on the day.
He is, aye. He'll probably be doing the service for them. Jehovah's! They're a good crowd of people. Then you give us any hassle.
You better be your window open, mate.
Aye. I'll not have it right open.
Aye, alright.
Sort your mirror. I've got a hell of a habit of doing that.
Good, mate. Yeah, actually, that was quite good, yeah, because actually my mother was a bit out anyway.
Because I knocked it earlier on.
Did you?
That's the worst thing.
Oh, apparently.
Do you hear him?
I love the borders at every time you wear these different colours.
It's amazing, isn't it? Some of the ticks and some of the things I come out with are quite funny, you know, and I don't mind it when maybe people laugh with me.
Lovely.
I mean, somebody with Tourette's can't go around living their life with this kind of serious frown on their face, thinking, you know, I've got a disability kind of thing. You need to kind of, if you like, live as normal as you can, like everybody else.
There's name of us get the pheasants off the road.
And there's times I've done that, right? I've whacked the horn and there's like folk walking about, and I've seen they've turned and waved, aye, and it's like, it's really funny. Aye, when he came to visit me in my first flat.
You were that nervous.
Aye, but every time I ate off a china plate, I had this urge to whack it with hit it with a fork and break it. And that time you came up and I had to serve you pie and beans on half a plate each because all my plates were broken. Did you not say something like, oh, I'm only getting half a portion? And I says, no, you've got a full portion on half a plate.
It was really funny.
80-year-old Greg Storey has been told by his doctor that he has Tourette syndrome. Depending on the severity of the condition, the number and intensity of tics can vary greatly. They can range from small twitches and noises to extreme shouting and swearing. In the past 2 years, Greg has had a variety of different tics, and his latest is a loud scream.
It felt like my head was bulging with pain and And the pain was starting from my little head and going to the edges of the room. And it really hurt.
In an attempt to minimise the disruption to the class, Greg's teachers have realised that giving him chewing gum distracts him from his tics.
At the moment I feel like crying because my head's hurting so much. Ow, ow, ow.
We were married in 91 and Greg was born September 93 and Eleanor came along in October 97. We didn't know, we had no idea then that there was Tourette's in our family or that Greg would develop Tourette's because it's hereditary. But at the time there was nothing about Paul and myself that we would recognise as Tourette's. We didn't even know the name, never heard of the condition, didn't really understand any of the behaviours. And the children came along, healthy, bright, bubbly, gorgeous, you know, just what you want, one in each hand. I know where they were. And it was about January 2000, things started to change with Greg.
Quack, said his mother. We
Quack,
said the two, so they quacked.
Greg started eye rolling. And he'd be sat watching the television or he'd be sat doing something and his eyes would just roll. And you'd say, oh, what's the matter? And he'd say, what? I'd say, are you all right? Oh, yeah, fine, fine. Then it would pass and you'd maybe have a week and then the eye rolling would start again. And this time it would go for longer and then it would in intermittent spurts. And there were times when he was eye rolling, I couldn't get his attention.
I can't even do it now because spit's gone all over.
It hasn't, it didn't at all. Turn your face up, right?
Now wipe your chin as well, Dan. Good.
Within 3 days, he had facial grimaces, upper body jerking, his head would twist, and he was making yelping noises and the noises.
It's all right, Greg.
Greg's parents kept a video diary of his various tics as proof of his behaviour, both for his doctor and for those who thought he was badly behaved.
We had a succession of 3 to 4 very violent tics, as you can see, and Dad had to carry him down the stairs so we could get him down the stairs.
You don't realise what you've had until it's gone. You just don't realise how much it can tear a young child's life apart.
I know, but we're here to help as much as we can. We won't give up trying, though, will we? We'll find something. We'll find something. We've found something before. We'll find something again. We will. We will.
I don't know any other parent whose 8-year-old child has asked you to kill him before, you know. You know, Greg's asked us on a number of occasions to kill him. I don't know how, well, I didn't know how to cope with it. I still don't fully know how to cope with it, but you just do. You just say, well, no, you don't really mean that, Greg. And try and talk him through his reasons why he said it. He says things like that when he's just that sick of the tics, that he's that tired and he's that down, that it's literally just got on top of him.
call some of them big blasters. I don't mind those. They wake me up in night and I don't get nearly any sleep. Once, because I'm a tick, I stayed up until 12.
That's very late, isn't it?
Yeah, then only got a little bit of sleep and had to go to school in the next morning.
And do people ever get upset with you?
Sometimes people do, because it really hurts their ears. Hurts my ears too. Just wish it wouldn't do that.
John works as a caretaker at the local community centre. He also runs youth groups and is constantly in situations where he is in contact with other people.
Fuck! Tonight, we've invited a youth club from another area into our youth club. Done! Just to encourage youngsters to mix, and the youngsters love it. It's like having a member of the family coming to see you, kind of thing that you've not seen for ages. I mean, they just get right in about it, you know. Here it comes.
Mary's coming, John.
15 or 16. Hey! Fucking. We're about 15, 20. Robbie boy, how we doing? All right? Right, good. All right, guys. You in for a goblin? Oh, aye.
Fancy their chances.
Just go in, guys. Just go in. Along the end of the corridor, not the hall, all right?
Here's Scotland squad coming in there.
Just go into the hall, guys. Just go into the hall. Pesto. In the first kind of half hour, will be quite loud, quite ticky. Just for the fact being, I'm a bit stressed about how they're going to react, how I'm going to deal with it. Dad! Dad! They've never met anyone else with Tourette syndrome, never mind full-blown Tourette syndrome. It's maybe for the first time they've come across somebody walking by and saying hi and then suddenly shouting at the top of their voice to kind of beat it kind of thing, you know.
You better put it away in your pocket then before you lose it.
I know, put it in your pocket.
Put it in your pocket before you lose it, son. Here is a pound, dearie.
Fuck! Fucking ass!
Oh, have I keep a pound? Is that for me? He's a kiss.
Usually, after a kind of initial shock horror reaction, it gives me the opportunity to say, I'm sorry, but I suffer from Tourette syndrome. Here. Here. I wait. When the boy says a shot first, and then you have then it's your shot, all right? Here. Peso! Liam, you prick. Pardon me. What's your manners now? Fucking hell. Here. Take your time. To be honest with you, I can't remember being John without the tics. I think when I was in primary school, I mean, I can remember kind of playing in the playground and doing these unwanted thoughts, these unwanted urges to do specific things, these touching, acting, this kind of, the way that Tourette's kind of makes you behave.
When I first started the school, I was getting teased a lot because I blinked. And then, from then on, I never used to want to go to school. I just, because of getting teased. Can't, fuck. And, so my mum just let me stay off and then phoned the school and explained that I was getting teased, and the school would say, right, they'd look into it. And then I'd go the next day and it'd be the same thing, and I'd end up walking out to school. When I first started going to college, I was making noises. People just look at me and give me a funny look. They used to always come after me and shout things and that. And I knew instantly, as soon as I'd start speaking to them, they'd just laugh or say, oh, aye, you know, don't believe you.
His outbursts at school put a huge pressure on John. He was often left lonely and isolated.
Sometimes I just feel like everyone hates you. Just because I've got this, I just feel like everyone hates you, and I just feel like killing myself or something like that. It feels so bad.
Bad memories, horrible memories. It was almost like a prison. It was like somewhere I was like forced to come every single day, and I just hated it. I'd make any excuse not to come. Absolutely hated it. I used to make myself sick in the mornings to be able to just get away with coming into school. It was just awful. Right. I'd be in the class 10 minutes and I would be moved out of the class. Some teachers, part of the classrooms adjacent to the class, there was like big walk-in cupboards where they used to store books and things like that. There was times I'd spend the whole class lesson in the cupboard doing work on my own.
They put you in the cupboard?
Yeah. Obviously it was just a way that the teacher at the time would cope with me no disrupting the class. I mean, their impression I think was that I'm not the only one in the class, so I mean, the other pupils shouldn't have to suffer because of my behaviour, because of the noise I was making, the tics. So it was like I was in the cupboard, I was out the way, and every maybe 20 minutes the teacher would come in to make sure I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. But it got to the stage where I was using so much energy trying to suppress the tics, even in the cupboard, away from people around, because I knew that they were out there and they knew I was in there. I kept thinking, they're listening, they're waiting for me to shout, and they're waiting for me to tick. I mean, it brings back a lot of bitterness, a lot of kind of if-onlys, you know. But it's, as the saying goes, sometimes shit happens, you know. It's like, you just get on with it. You just need to kind of, I feel like, pick up the pieces and just, instead of looking back at the negatives and, oh, I didn't get this and I missed out on that. I mean, it's something that's always going to be with me, but it's something that I just have to look forward and think, I've got the opportunity now of kind of, if you like, got over the worst part of Tourette's, I would say, and I'm able to cope, I'm able to deal with everyday life.
How are you feeling?
All right.
Where are we going now?
Up there.
For what?
My cornet lesson. Shall we go to my cornet lesson because he'll be starting? So I'll have to get my cornet.
Greg's parents withdrew him from his last school as his behaviour was getting him into trouble. They believed that the teachers didn't understand his condition.
Is it 12:30?
Yes.
Greg rarely ticks in his cornet lesson. Music, like chewing gum and sweets, distracts him from his tics.
Is there times at school when it's easier for you with your tics than others?
Yeah, there is. There's like, sometimes I have things like the helpful tick comes on from its rest and helps me with a lot of my bad tics, because normally I have to get 2 or 3 cough sweets a day because of my tics.
And other times when it's worse?
Yeah. I'll just have, if you go up those stairs, I'll be up at that door in about a minute.
Where have you come from?
The upstairs. Just I normally go up those stairs, down here.
Why did you do that?
Because if I came up these stairs, I'd be told off. So I don't break the rules. I was wondering if you were still doing your lesson.
No, I finished. I'm waiting for you.
Okay. Sorry about that.
How would you describe it? If I couldn't see and I was saying I need to draw that sign, what would you tell me to do?
It's like some hair.
Yeah, okay. And what's in the middle then?
And then there's like a outline of the hair, and then you can see a dot, and it's like some hair on a one-eyed giant.
One-eyed. Excellent. Some hair on a one-eyed giant. Before just told you that there were crotchets.
Yeah.
Yeah? Can we have a go at this one? Number 8.
Greg is settled in his current school, but his future will depend on whether his condition worsens and how those around him cope.
Here we go then. Let's have some ease. After 3. 1. 1, 2, 3.
Rather cruelly and pragmatically, I'd said to the parents at the very outset, this is a situation which I'm willing to go into for as long as it is the right thing. And I think that every year we have to review that. And if it isn't the right thing for him or for the school or for the other children in the school, then I'm afraid that there won't be any questions asked. It's simply, look, we've taken stock, it isn't suitable. As long as it remains the case that it is the best place for him, he'll stay. At the moment that isn't the case, he won't.
There is one thing which I would never do, which I'm not going to let my tics do. I'm not going to let it do this, because sometimes it says swear words. Like, should I say that? Shut your fucking gob. Sometimes. I don't like that one at all. And sometimes it says, shut up, you idiot. And if I do those, I feel like just screaming my head off until they stop.
Hey! Right. Dad. Get! Dad. Hiya. Hiya. Postman part of the day. Hey, fuck.
John. Back up. No, I want some fruit. Hey, fuck you. Cut. Back up.
At the age of 16, John's language was particularly extreme. He would cover his mouth in an attempt to hold the outbursts back. Adolescence had a huge effect on his condition, and the swear words and sexual references got progressively worse.
Cut. Fuck it.
Get those waves, will you?
Sometimes extreme tics can disappear and die down after puberty. But in John's case, they have remained a constant part of his life.
Fuck! Fuck! Yeah! Fuck! Fuck. Sorry. Sorry.
Hey!
Can you see where the copies are? There it is, John.
Back up. Fucking Nescafe. Do you want Nescafe or Max? Hold Wednesday.
Do you know, but
Fuck off! When I was younger and I did that with Mum, I found it very, very hard. It was like, if you like, a forced exercise. It was like, but I mean, I didn't often go out shopping with Mum. On the occasion, I felt I want to, just to maybe to see if I can deal with it. And it's like, it's a challenge, and I want to try it. I'd come down, and even before I'd even arrived at a supermarket or a shop, I'd be getting these hot and cold sweat running out of me, very tense, clammy hands. I started to breathe very panic attacks, and you know, and it was just the thought of going into a supermarket and having the people staring and maybe not knowing what was wrong and kind of looking at me as if to say, "Some badly behaved child." I mean, that his mother should get him under control, kind of thing. Fuck off! Oh. Fucking peso. Can I have a wee party for his birthday? Bang! No bad, yourself? You know, eh?
Long time no see.
Ken, aye.
Fuck's sake. Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye.
Sometimes I think that I say them because I know they're discussing and I know that somebody's going to get angry about it or turn the back about it. When I think of that, it just makes me worse. That's exactly what my mum thinks as well.
Fuck off!
Very slippers.
When you've got a lad that starts using sexual terms, very explicit terms to you, saying things, very rude things to you, you think, is this for real? This can't be an illness. He must have read this something at where, and he's just trying it on. He's just playing on this. You do.
I decided this night I'd just turn the TV off around about 9 o'clock and just go to sleep. I curled over, and just as I turned the TV off, just something came over me, and at the top of my voice I shouted, "Suck my cock." You know, I was only 13 years old at the time, and it was like, oh, what did I shout that for? And it was like, oh no, and then next thing I heard my mum upstairs, "John?" And I went up the stairs and Mum says, "What did you just shout?" And I tried to explain it, I couldn't help it, and at the time, because Mum didn't understand, nobody knew what was wrong. I mean, Mum gave me a hell of a row, you know, and as she was giving me a row, it was like, because I knew that it was bad, and she reacted in a way, it was like, stop, and it was like, kept on happening. I was like, what's happening to me? And I got really, really upset, started to cry, and Mum's got really upset and angry, and she was like, "I'm sick of this, I'm fed up, we need to get this sorted out, and what the hell's going on, you know?" And it was just pure horrible, and actually it made me feel really dirty, and to speak and shout something like that in front of your mum, in front of your brother and sisters, it was like I felt pure disgusted with myself, but yet I did not know why.
Nobody knew what was wrong with John. Nobody knew. As far as we knew, he just had a breakdown, and that was it. It took them 6 weeks. Very clever doctors worked it out. They must have really, they read books and did everything. The paediatrician was really good. And he found out that it was Tourette's. And when he said Tourette syndrome to me, he might have been talking Martian. It was, I had no idea. No, but there was really, it was a very, very unpublicised illness.
It is estimated that at least 1 in 2,000 people show some form of Tourette's. It is still a relatively unrecognised condition. Many families have trouble convincing those around them that their child has the syndrome and isn't just badly behaved. Kim and Paul have brought Greg to see Tourette's specialist Professor Mary Robertson to confirm his diagnosis.
Looking of the head like that?
No.
No? Eyes looking sideways?
Yes.
In the last week?
No.
No. Eyes staring, sort of a big look like that. Yes, exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yes. In the last week?
Yes.
Greg, I'm saying he, only because it's slightly shorter, but I actually mean you and Greg all of the time. But if I had to say Greg every time, it would...
exception to that.
No,
I don't
all
mind
right.
at all.
Good. All right. Humming as a tick?
No, but I do like humming.
Okay, but it's not a tick. Squeaking is a tick.
Yes,
In the
I
last week?
scream very loudly.
So you scream as well, and they're both in the last week. Have you done it in the last... Has he done that in the last week?
Yes.
Yesterday.
It's things like getting dressed.
This is making me
Has he
feel...
ever had the swearing tick?
Yes.
No.
I've said things like, shut your fucking cup, and things like that, very rude things. I don't want...
You don't want to? I want to say at the outside that it's very rare. It's only in about 10%. But it is very distressing, which is not like swearing. Do you mind if I use a swear word in front of you?
No, go ahead.
Just say you and I were mates, and we down the pub, and we had a bit too much alcohol on board, and we were arguing. I wanted you to get out. I might say, oh, fuck off. Now, at one level, it may not be polite, but at one level, it's appropriate. But for Tourettes, it's not appropriate. So I might say to you, oh, it's wonderful to meet you. Fuck, fuck, fuck. And that's much more like what Tourette syndrome is. So it's the individual, such as Greg, is embarrassed, and it's clearly not appropriate to the situation. Well, Greg and Mum and Dad, firstly, I would like to confirm the diagnosis that Greg does have...
Okay.
You all right?
Take a breath.
Yeah,
Okay.
shot in the head.
Okay. All right. Greg does have Tourette syndrome. And if you ask what Tourette syndrome is, the definition is actually multiple motor twitches or habits, plus one or more noises which must last for longer than a year. So nothing else. You don't have to have anything else. That's Tourette syndrome.
Barry! Get it! Tourette's has definitely limited me to what I'm if you like, able to do. I never had a lot of confidence. I didn't think I had much prospect in the ways of a career. I mean, there are times where I reflect back and think, I wished I could have had a job that was maybe a wee bit more interesting, or maybe a wee bit more along the kind of lines of maybe what I wanted to do. I mean, there's so much that I feel that I could be doing and that I would really like to do. If I didn't have Tourette's, I think I would love to have been a soldier or something, you know, running about, kind of, like, intelligence, kind of army intelligence, SAS type thing, you know, because I love jumping about. I mean, when I was young, I was always climbing trees, and I liked to kind of like surprise people. But as the Tourette's developed, it was a lot harder because, I mean, you could imagine me as a sniper or something in the woods with Tourette's, and you're trying to keep quiet and kind of casing something out, and then you suddenly, "Oi!" You know. I mean, it's like when I was a youngster, I found it awfully hard to play hide and seek. I was always the one that had to go and seek, you know, because I couldn't go and hide and keep quiet. I was always the one that shouted, I'm here, you know, so, I mean, I couldn't, it was just one of these things, right, we're going to play hide and seek, and I'd be like, oh fuck, here we go, I'm the one that's going to go hit here, I'm going to do all the chasing, but in a way I think to myself, you know, it's a good job I'm no criminally minded, you know, breaking into folks' houses and that, because it'd be absolutely useless. You know, I mean, imagine we go into someone's house, they're up in their bed sleeping, try to, you know, whatever, you know, and I'm in your house kind of thing, you know, and it's like, oh, I'm caught again. And I'd never be out of prison, you know.
I don't tell any of my secrets now.
That's
Because
right,
he shouts them out.
Aye.
When I first met up, so we used to go, because we're mates and I obviously just share things, you know, but sometimes I can't do that now because it's like, it's out.
I was in the pub and I've spent a wee bit more than I should have, didn't send it to Jane. They spent all the money! First bit I see Jane, you know, and it's like, oh no, and Dave...
What money is that?
Dave grassed, you know. But I find that quite hard as well. I mean, you know, at Christmas time, I always felt kind of left out because Mum didn't share, or asked me to go and help when I was getting older to help wrap presents and that, because it was like my younger brother at a remote control car. First opportunity I'd see William, it would be like, remote control car, or something like that. And then the kids used to, if you like, they'd click onto that, oh, John will know what I'm getting for Christmas. And they'll sit and annoy me, John, what am I getting for Christmas? John, what am I getting for Christmas? John, what's Mum got me? Know and find that it's keeping it going in my head, so I'm going to blurt it out kind of thing. And they'd be like, oh, cheers. But I mean, I just make a joke of it now. I mean, if I do shout something, I'd say, right, you owe me a $5 for that kind of thing, you know.
I was thinking about a game of hide and seek. Game of hide and seek? I'll count over there and anywhere.
Greg has been living with his Tourette's for over 2 years now. If he is to get on at Woodley School, the teachers and pupils must accept his condition and deal with it as best they can.
I'll count up to 35. Go! 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Coming! Ready or not? Who said that?
It was pretty weird. It stood out like a melon in a bag of tomatoes. Yes, there was definitely something in the air, and it was more than the smell of uninvented tourists. Something's going to happen here soon.
2 angels, come on. Greg, that's you.
What? Do you have to... I know. Do you have to wear that flyman all the time? I like to keep up with the coolest sounds.
Right, let's just start that again. Stand up, both of you. Stand up.
I'm going to be Angel Luke. And to get... I don't believe this, but I'm really cool and to get to wear a Walkman. Playing.
I've never heard of an angel that has a Walkman.
Neither have I. It's just really strange.
Are you looking forward to it?
Yep.
Worried about any of it?
I'm worried about I'm not going to learn my lines and learn them off by heart. Well, I hope I do.
So, loud, out towards the audience. Remember, we're on the field, in that tree.
Yeah. Which tree?
In the field out there. So, louder. Go on.
Well, we've been told that as he goes into his adolescence, he will get much worse. The tics will increase in severity. And we've also been told that as he gets out of his adolescence, there is possibility that they could, in effect, go into a form of remission. In fact, we've been told in a number of cases they practically go away. They don't in everybody, but they do decrease. And that what you're left with by the age of about 21 is what you're left with for life. I mean, I literally hope and pray that they go away to nothing. I obviously do, but I'm not going to delude myself that that will be the case. But I hope they do. You can't do anything else but hope.
God's sake. Now you see why I don't like sitting with him.
That's the worst habit he's got, is the spitting.
You not wanting that bit of fish?
It's the hardest one to live with,
Mum,
really.
Are you not wanting that bit of fish?
You can have it, John, if you want.
Throughout John's adolescence, the tics got worse. His father found the condition difficult to accept. He was rarely at home.
Brain food, John.
Pardon me.
Quite often he's late, you know, because he works. Does extra jobs on the side. he doesn't like this
laughing.
carry on either.
John's parents have separated. His mother moved away from Galashiels.
His dad wasn't a good partner to start with. He wasn't. He couldn't cope with it. If he'd been a stronger person, maybe our marriage would have survived. Maybe. I don't know, but certainly wouldn't blame John for our breakup. No.
I couldn't stop thinking to myself, you know, oh, if I didn't have Tourette's, I wonder if it would be like this. Is it because I've got Tourette's? It's adding all the pressure to the family. Mum and Dad aren't coping, they aren't getting on because there was always the fact that I kept blaming myself every time if Mum and Dad weren't getting on. And I would go away into my room and think, God, it's my fault, you know. Sometimes there was an argument and I'd try and get involved to try and say, Mum, like, come on, stop arguing, kind of thing. And I would try and get too involved, and it would get to the stage where I'd have to walk away and think, oh no, I've made things worse. Some of the tics, it was very hard, because if I knew there was maybe Mum and Dad weren't getting on, I'd maybe walk about the house shouting, divorce, you know. Obviously knowing that was the possible, you know, end scenario for Mum and Dad's marriage, that it was like I didn't want that to happen, but yet it was something I kept shouting out, because obviously I knew that's maybe the way things were going, and that added pressure as well, because Mum and Dad again didn't want to accept that either.
Fucking little butt. Stop laughing, you.
William's an engineer. He's John's younger brother, and he's got one child at the moment, another on the way. Caroline's done a number of things. At the moment, she works at the hospital as a clerk in the wards, and she's got one child at the moment. This is my grandchildren. This is my oldest girl's two boys, Thomas and Luke, and little Emily. And this is my son William, John's brother's little girl, Lucy. She's a little imp. And this is a card that was sent to John after his last film, on Hope, and I thought it was really quite sweet. Really, I've kept it all these years because it really has been quite an inspiration.
You got a picture of John?
Not here. I meant to get a picture of John out. I've got one somewhere. All my pictures are so jumbled up at the moment because with moving. I've got a picture of John somewhere. There we go. There's a picture of John. That's John with his dog, Cassie. That's his pride and joy.
How long you had that?
11 years. Yeah.
From a puppy?
Yeah. Yep.
She quite important to you?
Very important. My baby, eh? Best friend I've ever had, eh? Daddy's girl. She comes everywhere with me as well, to work, and I go out visiting friends and things. It's everywhere. She's like my shadow, even about the house. I can't move through the sitting room into the kitchen, or through the kitchen, or sitting them up the stairs to go to the toilet. She's always kind of behind me. Off she goes. Getting down then, eh? She's probably getting down because I'm ticking, and she just kind of moves out the way, kind of thing. Usually, I mean, she's usually very, very, very tolerant. Usually didn't bother her, but I mean, I think if she's wanting to lie and just relax and sleep, again, maybe she's, the jumps, it kind of disturbs her sleep, I think, maybe. She likes sleeping. It's her beauty sleep. Fuck!
Stop doing that. Right, thank you, Michael. That's quite
How are you feeling about your play?
All right. I'm just worried about something. You see, Lewis's brother, doesn't know his lines. And if he doesn't know his lines, the play will be not a success.
Do you have to wear that blind all the time?
I like to keep up with the coolest sound.
Well, some lizards having sex in the clouds, you don't have to keep your ears to the ground.
Why not? We're celebrating the dawn of the first millennium. You don't get one of those very often.
Glory to God in the highest. Glory to God on high.
You have so many aspirations for your son. You know, I don't know if other dads are like me, but it's like my firstborn is a boy, and although I love my daughter to bits, to a dad I think her son's special. You have dreams for them that you couldn't fulfil. I wouldn't say I was like dreaming he'd play for England or daft like that, because I've never had those sort of dreams, but I just have dreams that he'd have a really happy life, that he would fulfil all the silly little things like travelling in places that I never got to travel in, and I'd have experiences that I never had, partly because I could help him have those experiences if he wanted them. And I think they take a big blow. They do take a big blow.
Yo, places to go, people to see, songs to sing while glory be. Do you know what? Every single girl in the school loves me. Mary says I'm cute. Somebody else says I'm snuggly. Somebody else says I'm cuddly. And somebody else says I'm like a teddy bear. That's really funny. And I make paper airplanes. That helps me with my tics. And I like doing it as well.
Make one in a minute, actually.
Okay.
Is that all right? And when you're older, do you think you want to get married and things?
Might get married, might not. You know, I think I might have, I might be married a bit, but we don't see each other often. We just see them about 89 days a year.
89
Days.
Why is that?
Because I might have a bit of like a problem with my tics, because I normally have a problem with my tics. Like, there's still tics going on in my mind now.
Other people take for granted that, I mean, they can go out a weekend to the pub and to the nightclub and they can meet like females and chat them up and all the rest of it, but when you've got Tourette's, especially full-blown Tourette's, I find it still very, very embarrassing, and I find it very hard to maybe make a first initial approach to maybe start to talk to a female that I find attractive, or, you know, I mean, it's not the kind of thing you go up to a female, introduce yourself and say, oh, hi, I'm John, how are you, kind of thing, you want a drink, and then suddenly shout fuck in her face or spit in her face or something, you know. And I find that I'm quite conscious, self-conscious about that, and because I think part of my personality is that I want to impress and I want to kind of show who I am and be proud of myself. Having Tourette's kind of knocks that a bit. I just want to be, you know, John that's like everyone else. Everybody at my age goes into a pub, meets somebody, really like each other, and just take it from there. But Tourette's, it takes so much longer. It's such a lengthy process of needing to gain so much trust, more trust than you maybe would in a relationship with people that didn't have Tourette's.
Will it ever go away?
My tics? Do you mean forever? No. Never will. Never ever will. It'll stay until I die. Even when I'm a grandpa, unless they find the cure. Which I hope they do.
There's always nights, even now, I say to myself, I might wake up tomorrow and it's no there, you know. And when I was younger especially, I used to go to bed at night thinking, please let me wake up in the morning and everything's back to normal, you know. It's like you can't get time to relax enough because of the temperature jumping about. It's just absolutely awful. I use so much energy, not just with everyday things that you do, but with the tics, the vocalisations and, you know, the shouting. I mean, I'm burning so much energy, but there is a downfall of that. I always wonder, if I'm burning that much energy, how I've got such a big fat beer belly. Again, it's just like flab. I think I should be a big skinny rake with the amount of energy and moving about that I do, you know. But it's one of the things, it's just me, you know.
I think I'd probably be a scientist. A scientist. Because I think I have an idea how we can stop Tourette syndrome before it gets to anybody. If anybody's going to have a baby, you can get them, look in them, see if they have Tourette syndrome, and put like an X-ray on the bit where the genes are, and make a thing which says, if on the Tourette syndrome gene, then look on the Tourette syndrome gene on chromosome 8 and destroy that bit of the chromosome to stop Tourette syndrome. Then, no Tourette syndrome. Quite simple. But we might be able to do it, might not.
Hey! Fuck! Hey, I'm used to it.
There's a lot of like antique and stuff going about now, isn't there? And is it just because this thing's on the day?
This is fantastic. I love
amazing.
it.
That's
I love
really
it.
nice
Taking
self-cut.
photographs. It's almost, see some of the designs of these buildings are almost kind of French looking, eh?
They are.
Like when you went to visit France
When
and
we were in Belgium, here's some sheep.
They're quite nice, these paintings.
Here's this guy.